To the one I could never hold, have to get this off my chest. The heavens granted me a rigid tongue, I cannot speak of sentiment or my heart's truth, only rhyme and verse for the tuneful nine to gaze upon. Foolish tendencies always confused me, like a sour apple, they left a distaste in my mouth, until Cupid took pity and tossed me a taste of sweetness. Sweet it was, but oh, how bitter. You ask me if I remember, but you're but a haze in my head. I sit and wonder, what shade of brown was your hair, a honey-melted sunset? Or was it a deeper hue, rich and warm? Nevertheless, your hazelnut eyes, which I came to love so dearly, did they ever hold a promise? For my fleeting, pathetic heart has ached, wondering. I told you I held disdain in our first meeting, but would it push you away if I told you I dreamt of us lying under a tree? It filled me with such shame. Would you hate me if I told you that I yearned to cradle you under the light as you slept, so the moon could breathe in your dreams? While the heavens watched you sleep, I tore myself apart for wanting, while you belonged to another. I bled, I am left with open sores, hating every moment of it. Was it a one-sided longing, like the nightingale who has lost its feathers and wished to fade away into the silent night? And should the stars conspire in their flight and guide me to you? What's woven in the fabric of the skies? Our constellations would only align briefly, it wouldn't last. Your laughter spilled like moonlight on the ground. Not every glance can capture the fleeting grace I held. Filled with glee, I wished you happiness, if only I could be the one to give it to you. All my life, I treaded half-heartedly, bearing an ache only to be fooled by my own foolish heart. This time, it ached for a sweet lullaby. I wore my longing like a second skin, in shreds, I peeled away terrible sights, such self-disdain I held. While a part of me will always dwell, I am content with fate's path. I believe that no matter how much the sun adores its crest, the moon will always rise before ever seeing a glimpse of its beloved. There are many stars for the moon to adorn itself with, and the sun should cradle its light to the clouds, even if it rains or lightning strikes. Both are fitted to circle all eternity. You have made it to the end of my lame confession. While it might sound degenerated, I only asked it to add proper punctuation. Writing poetry using I defeats the entire purpose, and it's bound to sound cliché and generic anyways. I hope it filled a dreamer's heart, this confession of mine. If you happen to want to use any of it, I would highly appreciate if I am given credit, or simply reach out to me and I will be more than glad to give more of my poetry out in exchange for your story. It would also fill me with glee to have poetry pals. And if you're curious about this confession of mine, feel free to reach out. My socials: Discord, Cherry Blossom 01894.